What's happening, guys? You are back on the firing line. Hope you guys are enjoying the weekend. Me and Joe are.
How you guys doing?
And today we're going to talk about some gear. Gear that one of them is a piece of Joe's, one is a piece of mine. Particularly battle belts or gun belts, war belts.
Yeah.
Whatever people call them.
Well, or response, you know. The thing is, we want to kind of talk to you and bring to you the ideas of why we built our belts, what we're working on, and some of the comforts of having them, and how you can place different things that can make your life a little bit easier. So.
Right. Where traditionally a lot of us are familiar with like full-on armor gear, or even a chest rig where it has your magazines and your medical. I still think where this shines is you can just get rid of. You don't know, this takes time.
Right.
This takes. I mean, not.
It's going to take time to put it on,
right.
Get yourself situated.
Exactly.
I mean, of course, you should be practicing it so that it should be
it's like
a very minimal amount of time. But
yeah, it's not significant, but it does take more time. So if it was a situation where, okay, somebody's kicking in my front door, I'm in the back of my house, and I have 8 seconds. We're just making up numbers now.
Well,
okay, at 8 seconds, I'm not putting on that kind of stuff, okay?
I'm putting on one of these.
Yeah.
Because I know with this, I can be there very quickly while I'm running down the hall, easily snapping that thing
That's
on.
a good point.
And acquiring my weapon if I
As
need
you're
to.
moving, you can just kind of make your way and click that thing. You don't have to be static.
Right.
Where you kind of are when you're clicking into armor, stuff like that.
And it's not set up so that it's just for pistols. I mean, there are other things that we add to it. Like, you know, I have, you can see my rifle magazines here. Those are so that if I can get to my rifle, or if I need my rifle as my response, I still have ammunition for that as well. I've been thinking about adding one more behind here just to give myself 2 mags, but with the same thing in mind, I don't want to overweight myself down too. And I know thinking one magazine doesn't weigh a whole lot, but when you add the rest of your kit and you put everything together, because I think Matt and I have both kind of taken the concept of, you know, this is our pistol, and most of the stuff here we can feed our pistol with.
Right.
But we can still operate our rifle a little bit from this station as well. But the whole idea is this takes some of the weight and some of the stuff off of your chest rig so that it's not sticking out as far,
right.
and
That's
makes things a little bit more maneuverable.
You're not skylining yourself as much with something like this. Whereas if you're wearing a plate carrier, and say there's somebody actively looking for people wearing plate carriers or chest rigs, if you're standing there with a chest rig, you're going to stand out a lot more than if you have this belt on. You're maybe behind a car, or standing kind of how I am right now. It just, you know, your body isn't going to look like you have a bulky, you know, armor gear on top of you. Again, where I like this, and I think Joe hit it on the head, where it's mainly a pistol rig, but it does the rifle job if I want it to. So I have one. In my case and in Joe's case, we each have one rifle magazine.
It's so funny it worked out this way. Both of us, as we were talking about earlier, sorry to interrupt you, we both made these completely different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, at different times.
Yeah, we built these totally different times. And when I originally did this one, all I had was a bunch of pistol mags because it was for taking a class at Tactical Response, and being in California, I had a whole bunch of 10-round mags, and everybody else had like 17 and 20-round mags, so I was doing lots of mag changes. So a normal Kydex wasn't cutting it, so I just had to stack this thing with pistol mags. What I really like about it, like you said, something happens at night, you have to get it on. We both have a flashlight here. This one, I have some extra batteries in it, you know, that
makes sense.
The batteries are nice. It's not a need to, it's a nice to have. Couple pistol reloads. Joe's got a few pistol reloads there.
I like 3. I know that sometimes I put a few more rounds than maybe I should, but I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Better to have more than less.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have 3 than 1.
And if I don't have my rifle, at least I've got plenty of rounds.
Yeah, you can bounce 9mm all off and stuff.
Nice.
So as far as the pouches go, we've talked about this before. To both of us, we don't really consider these only dump pouches.
No,
okay?
definitely not.
So the design would be, okay, in the gun, runs out of ammo, put it in there. reload the gun.
And not necessarily just running out of ammo, but if you do a tactical reload, you've got 2 or 3 rounds left, and you hold on to that magazine.
Yeah, or a half a magazine left. Yeah.
Who knows? You might be able to pull that back out. I mean, if we ever get into a gunfight that radical.
Right. But I also just see it, I mean, considering they both have a pull cord, so you can kind of tighten it down but still keep it open so nothing will come out. It's almost like one of those fish traps, like once they swim in, they can't come back out. So that way, I mean, whatever you had to pick up that was important that you thought, oh, I should probably grab that, like evidence, think of something like that. This would be a great bag for that. So kind of like SSE kit, a sensitive site exploitation, something like that. I think these are a great job for that, as well as storing ammunition.
It can also be something as simple as carrying extra water. I mean, honestly.
Yep, especially on a system like this where you don't have a backpack or a camelback. That's you could easily put a couple bottles of water in there and cinch it down, so it was just nice and tight. And that way it wouldn't be flopping around. And
another thing that I like them for too is in a home style situation, if I do have the ability to take the weapon away from somebody or separate them from that weapon, I now have a way of controlling that weapon so that they can't gain control of it again.
That's a good point, yeah. I mean, exactly, yeah. I mean, if you get into, if you're in a hallway and you actually go fisticuff and you have to rip a gun away, you put that thing in your dump pouch and come back up with your actual pistol.
Even if it's not in fisticuffs, maybe we've subdued him and the gun is on the ground. At that point, I'm going to want to keep that gun as far away from him as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes kicking it, but if you're in a hallway, maybe you won't be able to kick it down the hallway without endangering somebody. So.
And I don't need a third person coming around the corner picking up that weapon either.
Yeah,
so this is another reason why I like being able to have that there.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into tactics and just keeping your eyes on your threats. Moving over from the pouches, we both have medical equipment. We're both running a cat tourniquet with the red tip, which is, I believe, the Gen 4 cat.
Yeah.
I really like the cat tourniquets. They're strong, they're tough. I know some people could kind of complain because of some of these parts here are plastic, but it's polymer. I mean, our ARs are plastic, and that shit doesn't break, so the
plastics and things like that tend to break down over time. And over stress of laying on them, using them, and stuff like that. And you should be practicing as well. But here's the thing, like anything, you should go over it, you should check your stuff, make sure that it's good, do an inspection, make sure there's no cracks and things like that that can lead to failure later on.
Yeah,
it's a real simple thing.
That's a really great point, and that's just like Joe's here. He has this dedicated tourniquet pouch, which is real nice. This keeps it safe from everything. And UV, that's something that will eat your tourniquet up pretty good.
Right.
Just the sun. So where mine here, and you can actually, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it's got some color to it. Because it's been in there for a while, and I've taken, this thing has been in Camden, and so it's got the red clay, it looks like blood practically. But anyway, the main, you don't have a large medical kit, but you have a tourniquet.
Well, and here's the thing, my larger medical kit is actually part of my chest rig.
Okay, and same here, I have a tear off on my chest rig, but I just kind of go with, where when you start talking first, second, third line gear stuff, if I had to strip everything but I had this on, I would have medical gear, fighting equipment, a basic flashlight, a basic knife, and one more thing I run through the back of them, through the middle of them, I guess, you can just see them pop them out on either side, are a set of flex cuffs that I haven't actually done up yet. They're just the two flat ones running through there.
I actually have some sets coming myself.
And so that way, and that makes it sit right about there, and you just pull it out and you can make it into the cuff in like 3 seconds. I've practiced that before. And that would just be something, whereas if somebody was in your house and you either already had to put rounds into them and then, make sure they're good, or if there was a second person that actually complied to your commands and now you have them at gunpoint, what do you do next? I mean, I'm not suggesting everybody go out and start handcuffing people that come into your house, but
that might be good practice.
it would be a good backup plan to have in your bag of tricks in case somebody does surrender to you. Because, I mean, otherwise, if you don't know how to handle a surrender, you're going to, during the moment at 3 a.m. is a shitty time to learn.
Yeah, very true. Like anything else though, with all of this stuff, you have to practice. You have to continuously practice and make it more of a muscle memory. Otherwise, when it comes down to it, you're freaking out because everybody's running in different directions in the family and everything else. It's going to be hard to deal with. And to be able to use your tools, I mean, it's something that should be second nature to you, I think.
Yeah. And just because, when it's sitting on your belt, it's sitting a little bit different than the equipment when you wear it like as you would a carry position or with kydex or something like that, just against your body, because it's sitting off of your body a little bit. So you need to practice. It's not much of a different draw stroke, but the draw stroke is a little different simply because the gun is further away from your body. So, and like on mine, for example, I have a, I just said the name. Safariland, thank you. It's the 6200 series holsters, and so it has the bail and the retention. So that's really nice. If I happen to take a header and I'm rolling around, I mean, it's virtually impossible for this gun to come out of here. And I've just practiced 1,000+ times getting that bail and drawing the gun nice and safely. So again, like Joe said, make sure you vet your gear thoroughly. Test it, and set it up practically. We all want to have, like we were joking earlier, we all want to have the radio pouch with an F-16 attached to it. Right?
Moab.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to have a Dillon minigun and with the power pack attached to our backs, but it's just, but think realistic. Keep it simple, stupid, and that's what works.
For me, I actually have second light on it because I'm using the light on the pistol as well.
That's a good point. So, and he has he has the option to run a light on that. I do not for this weapon. So, and you guys, you can always check the video out on the Theorem switchback, which makes it nice for aiming a handgun that doesn't have a mounted light. Really neat product for just 10 or 20 bucks. Check that out. Anyway, guys, we're going to get back to you with some different videos coming soon, so stay tuned to watch some gun videos. And Matt and Joe, we will be back on the firing line.
See you next time.